everybody, this is the trend scan for the next week. So this week was quite interesting, right? We had some good follow through in US equities. So the best asset classes were US equities and energies. And I've seen good good trades from you in your trade log. So you picked the right asset classes and the right time frames and contracts. So here with the US equities, well, we did this comparative study, right? That although they are somehow correlated on the 15-minute chart, we had quite different patterns, right? And some went well for some reason, and others did not do that well. But let's have a quick look here at the overall picture. As I mentioned in one of those videos, I think that we are at an historic moment, right? We're breaking here to a new high. This is a multi-year, right, multi-month consolidation pattern, and we're breaking to a new high. Well, we have to put things into perspective. If this is the pattern, we see it here, right? This is the most important pattern if we look back here since the great financial crisis here in 2010. So this is why I say, well, it's historic, right? It's the biggest consolidation since the first big crisis we experienced more than 15 years ago. And so this could mark the midpoint, right? Half mast flag. So we could actually see another momentum move of that sort that brought us from 500, well, it made basically tenfolded, right? So we could see something similar, and well, that's part of the big picture outlook that the US equity markets should go vertical from here, right? We should still see consolidations of that sort, of that magnitude, but that should be the biggest one we've experienced for a good number of years now. And breaking to a new high, well, that should generate a stop run move, and we're just there, right? We're just breaking it. Actually, this was an S2 pattern, right? Here, back here was the entry signal that was communicated widely. So this is now the biggest stop run, breaking the high. And that's always interesting because it can create a big monthly bar. So we have now basically the 10th of February. So it's 3 weeks more to build this monthly bar. It could grow big, right? It could grow red. So we could see it break and then a big fake, right? It could even end down here, so it can do anything. But most probably what we'll see is we see a long stretched green bar, maybe of that magnitude, right? Maybe compared to this one here, right after the Corona spike, panic high. So I'm actually interested, right, to trade such a big bar in a lower time frame with a very low risk idea. So this is the idea, right? So this is a signal I've scaled into my long-term investment based on an S1. Then we had another signal here. That's an S2. And we had some other signals on the 15-minute chart. So that looks really good, and I think it will continue into the next week, into the next 2-3 weeks. Now let's have a look at YM. So the ES is just about to produce a stop run move. Now the ES has already gone higher, right? So it's front running a little bit, and this was another pattern that didn't do that well. Well, it's because we are overall sideways, right? Whenever we are overall sideways, either it breaks the level, which is this high, or it does not. Well, here it tested the level, but it could not break away out of overall sideways, right? And now it has formed kind of a double top, which doesn't mean that it's not going to go higher, but it looks like it's having another pause, right? The bulls have to get stronger again. Now Nasdaq was strong, right? There were some patterns too. Yeah, there was an S2 pattern here on the 240. We didn't see that in the other charts, right? YM and ES. We had an S1 here, same as the others. And I don't remember if we had it on a 15-minute, if we had a pattern on a 15-minute, well, we had it here, right? This was the 15-minute pattern. And the Nasdaq as well is about just, well, it has broken, well, similar to the ES. It is about to build a big green bar, hopefully. If it does, well, we will be all over it, because then all time frames are bullish, and that means we have very good swing potential, and that's what ideally we're looking for. Now the Russell is a bit special, right? It's lagging a lot. It's here stuck in a range. Well, it is a pattern, right? It is a pattern, an S1 pattern here on the monthly. It just didn't lift off from the base. We've got a nice touch of the 21. So it looks like this is lagging, and this might come in at the later stage, right? So it basically needs to break this range, and I have my alarm here. When it breaks this new wick, right? When it breaks this wick high, well, then the next, this high is the stop run level. Well, then we might actually, if it breaks, we could actually quickly run right to the consolidation high, catching up with the other equity instruments. Now let's have a look to the metals. Metals, not much was going on. We're in an extreme volatility compression. We can see it here on the daily, right? Very small bars, very compressed, sitting on, basically bouncing off the 200 here, bouncing off the 21 here. It's sitting on the 8, so it's a very strong compression. Well, what follows after a volatility compression or a volatility expansion? It's just not yet time to trade trend following systems on a chart that looks like this, right? Wicky and spiky. That means that the ATR, average true range, is really small in comparison. I don't know if we see that if you go back. Well, the bars here have been much bigger, right? We can visually see it. And since beginning of the year, the bars have really become small, and we have top and bottom wicks. So it's undecisive, right? The bulls and the bears are undecisive, taking a rest. But when this is starting to move, and we have great patterns, right? We had an S2 here, we had an S1 here. We just recently had, let's just move that straight. We just recently had an S1 here, right? That was created by the Middle East war, this drop. Interesting how gold dropped, right, when war starts. But that has triggered an entry signal, and we have not yet broken to a new high. It's clustered with stop run levels. So I don't even need to look at the other contracts, right? Silver is the same, platinum is the same, palladium is dropping off. Let's have a quick look at copper. So that tells you that it's not likely be an interesting week, except if we get a big momentum move, right? That breaks out of sideways action. Well, then we can look at it. Then we can look at it again. Now copper as well, it's basically stuck in a range, right? Bouncing off 200, between this 200 and this 200. This is where price action is basically, and here as well, where price action is squared. Now let's have a look at crude. So crude is always good for a big move, right? And we saw that here, moving out, basically meeting the 200. Well, we want to see next week whether it can actually break away from the 200 and even break the last high, which is a cluster level. Let's just mark it. It clusters with these highs, or really, and I want to mark that because I like this idea that we might actually break out. If we do, we should get a move, right? And then we've got other stop run levels, and it's basically within the overall picture, the overall idea. This is an S1, right? First leg, pull back to the base, finding ground, and now putting in a second leg. Well, we need to break this red bar high, which would then mean we're breaking this high, right? So that's what we're looking for. We have resistance from the 200 here, so we need to push against and break that as well. Well, that we will break away when we break this high. Now this high, right, is this high, which is this high here. So that's basically what we need in order to develop further trend momentum. So that's a range bound strategy for now. To break this high, make a stop run move, and then potentially meet this high, right? A range trade idea. Okay, so we had a nice move. That's an EMA trend. So let's see next week if the 60-minute continues its EMA trend. That would be nice, right? If we get a move of that sort. Now let's have a look at heating oil and gasoline, and then natural gas. Natural gas is selling off. So this is heating oil, Heating oil, similar situation, right? It's trying to put in a second leg and break to a new high. Well, the high here in heating oil is a very important level, right? If that breaks, and it's as well, it's based on when the charts roll over, I have to adjust the lines, unfortunately. If that breaks, well, then we're basically are clearly breaking away from the consolidation high of this S1, and then we should see another leg of that sort, right? This is a consolidation, and then we should see another leg of that sort. Unfortunately, that could have been an S1, right? But we never got a test bar. We never tested the 21. Well, it could still run, but I'm not, well, I'm cautious that we might see a stronger sell-off. Very similar, we've got the stop loss levels here, and I want to see whether we continue here on the 60-minute, which will offer opportunities, right, on these lower time frames. Similar here, gasoline, very similar, right? On this S2 pattern, where we got close to a touch, but we did not get a touch. And again, the 60-minute plays the music, hopefully next week. Now we come to natural gas. So natural gas, we had our S2 pattern here, it dropped, right? So now we're at an important, well, getting close to an important level, which is this one, the last low. And we have broken this level here, which has given us this level, right? Which has given us a nice run. Should we break this level, well, then we should see a rush lower, right? That would be here, and then we would basically fulfill something like this, and sooner or later I think we're going to see yeah, this to bottom out. Now the interest rate futures are not that interesting. They're still kind of stuck here at the 200, trying to break away, so to move to the next level, which is the 200. So we should actually see yields to increase, right? If this goes down, means that the yields, interest yields, are going up. Let's have a quick look at the DX, the US dollar index, which you can trade as well, right, with this future. This is how it looks like. It looks a bit similar to the energies, right, crude and heating. We had a first leg pulling back, and now it's putting in a second leg. It looks very similar, right, astonishingly similar. So we could get a stop run move here. Well, we don't have the 60-minute EMA trend, right? We have to wait for a trend to establish. So next week, I'm very interested to see whether we get a gap up on open, because we are at a critical level. Then I'm interested to see what the energies are doing on the 60-minute, and if anything, yeah, if any other, yeah, EMA trend is developing. So I think it's going to be an interesting week. Good luck.